You know, I never thought that I would make another one of these. To be honest, you know, uh, to tell you the truth, these sort of videos acted as sort of like a mental journal more than anything. And it's funny. Um, I kind of use these to kind of indirectly talk about stuff I want to talk about. It's never usually about what I'm actually saying. Funny enough, shocker of the year, right? Um, but we're here. We're here. We're back. And kind of what I want to talk about today is, you know, you think that you're ready for something, and maybe you're not, right? So, whether it's a new job, right? You can have all of the training in the world. You can take all the classes, you can do all the assignments, and you can do everything right, but you're never prepared for when things don't go the way you want. And in all honesty, that is something that I struggle with deeply. Okay? Um, and when things don't go the way I want to, and I'm really, really wanting something to go the way I want, and it just doesn't happen. I can preach on this channel as much as I like, about get the fuck out of here, cut people off, blah blah blah. But in all reality, sometimes the hardest advice for me to take is my own. Right? I'm not someone who cares lightly about certain things. And maybe that's a flaw, you know, and maybe that's a strength. Who knows? I feel like I've gotten a lot better, and maybe in ways I actually have. But in the areas that matter the most, it's like I keep making the same core mistake. Is that when I care about something, I just kind of attach to it because I don't like losing good things. All right, and when I feel things slipping away, I latch on, and that's not good. When we're talking about humans, so I don't know what the fix is. And, part of it is me just talking and over explaining, right? So, does the internet need to know me in this way? Truth be told, I can give a shit less what any of you guys take away from this. All right, I hope it helps people. Um, this is kind of my therapy in a way. I never really needed anybody. And yet, when I try to, when I have a connection with somebody, this isn't just, relational. This isn't just, or I mean, romantic. It's not, or it's professional, friendships, things of that nature. You know, I it's like I need it, even though I say I don't need it. Or like, I say I don't need them. I can live alone, but I can't go a single day without them. And that's kind of hypocritical of me. It's like I desire connection, but I don't know how to have true connection sometimes. Or or I don't know when. It's kind of funny. I say cut people off and say get the fuck out of here and everything like that, but when it comes time for me to do it, it's something I can't do easy or really at all. Um, so most of the times I feel something slipping away, and instead of just trusting that they're there, I need to push and poke. I need to get an answer because I've been burned a lot. And a lot of it's my fault. You know, my fault for dealing with bullshit. First of all, right? Not everybody is a good fit, but when I feel like they are, then it really hits me. And I have this sort of anxiety sometimes about it all. Like I'm constantly thinking about a person or a thing or whatnot. get to live my own life. And sometimes I try to channel that into some productive or something creative, like the album. And in many ways, I always have a plan for the album, and the plan keeps changing because my moods and my thoughts about certain situations constantly evolve, and I want it to reflect that. But at the end of the day, if it can't have a definitive thing, then it's just gonna always be in limbo. And it's like I'm always trying to search for the right vibe for a certain emotion. And I can't find it. I can't play something, or I can't find an instrumental, or I can't think of something to where it just feels right. Like there's a lot of good instrumentals I've made and a lot of good songs I've made, but something just doesn't feel right about it sometimes, whether it's like one drum sound or one lyric. It's always one thing, and it bothers the shit out of me because yeah, I don't know why. And I'm tired tired of ruining things that are good for me. And I'm tired of pushing people away. I don't know how to stop. And I feel like I'm going to regret some things for a long time. And usually I don't really live in regret. But I feel like this time I will. Is it all my fault? No. But, sometimes I feel like if I just was better, or I knew how to handle a certain situation, then it would get better, or I would get what I want. Or that I can fix things. And trying to fix things usually ends up making it worse. Because the damage is already done. I don't know why I try to earn connection. Or why I feel like it has to be earned. Like I like the moment where people have interest and they seek it out and then they stop and then it feels like I have to earn it back. So I try to reason, logic, ruminate, try everything I can think of, try to get it back, or convince someone of something. And it never works. And I know it doesn't work. And and I don't want to do it. Sometimes it just naturally comes out. So, goes back to my point. I thought I was ready, and I thought I was healed, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I got more work to do, but I don't know where to start. So it leads me right back to here. YouTube. YouTube's like the X you can't never get rid of. And these, honestly, those discussion posts help me a lot. Do a lot of shit. I'm sure some of you smart folk kind of saw through the facade a little bit. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm there for a lot of people, but at the end of the day, who's there for me? It's a very lonely feeling. I carry a lot of things because I can, and you know, but when I can't carry something anymore, I don't know who I can count on. And that's not to send shots at anybody. Because there are some people that are actually there for me and care about me. And I appreciate them. And it's kind of funny. I say that I don't know who's there for me, and then I know who's there for me at the same time. So I really don't know what the fuck I'm talking about then. It's kind of hypocritical. But yeah, well, the album is still kind of coming. And yeah, one day at a time. It's going to be good and bad. But one day at a time, fellas.